Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. It's me, Teacher Fatin. So, for today, kita akan sambung dengan part 2, direct proportion and inverse proportion. So, for this part, we will have 3 learning objective. So, yang pertama, our learning objective, recognize and solve problems using direct proportion. Recognize and solve problem using inverse proportion. And the last one, we're going to determine the ratio of 3 quantities given 2 or more ratios of 2 quantities. Okay, so kita ada 3 learning objective untuk hari ni. So, next, prior knowledge. So, sebelum kita start ni, students should know, so you should know how to multiply and divide without using calculator, tak perlu guna calculator, and understand the principle of direct proportion and inverse proportion. Okay. So next one, common mistake. Student may confuse between direct proportion and inverse proportion question. So you have to always consider whether your answer tu at the end of it sensible atau tak. Sebab kita nak avoid the silly mistake. Okay. So make sure you watch this video until the end and differentiate between direct proportion and inverse proportion. Okay. So this is the summary, yesterday punya summary apa untuk ratio, rate and proportion. Okay. So this one should be okay lah semua. Okay, next kita masuk direct proportion. So direct proportion ni dia almost sama je dengan yang semalam. Suppose you buy 12 items which each cost the same, the total amount you spend is 12 times the cost of one item. Okay, contohnya macam kita beli ice cream kan. So kalau ice cream beli 12 ice cream, harga dia akan sama juga. So kita akan darab 12 sahaja. So direct proportion memang dia terus macam tu sahaja. Okay. Next, example 1. If 8 pen costs $2.64, what is the cost of 5 pen? Okay, so dia kata kalau 8 pen berharga $2.64, what is the cost of 5 pen? Okay, so this one, ni kan, kita boleh buat ratio. So soalan dia contoh kita letak dekat sini pen. So bila atas pen, 8 pen nisbah dengan 5, 8 to 5. Okay, so yang 8 pen ni harga dia adalah $2.64. Okay. So we want to find kalau 5 pen berapa pula kat sini. Okay. So as usual you can do cross multiplication. 8 akan darab dengan X. Okay, and 2.64 akan darab dengan 5. So 8 darab dengan X akan dapat 8X. 2.4 darab 5, we will get 13.2. Okay. So sekarang we want to know how much for 5 pence. So we have to divide this one with 8. Sini pun kita akan bahagi 8. Supaya kita dapat X. So X kat sini merupakan represent for 5 pence. So we will get 13.2 divided with 8. 1.65. Okay, 1.65 harga dia. Okay, so kena letak unit at the end. So this one kita guna cross multiplication. Kalau nak guna lagi satu cara, kita letak macam ni pula, pen nisbah dengan harga dia. Okay, so let's say tadi 8 pen harga dia 2.64, 5 pen berapa harga dia. Okay, cara dia sama je sebenarnya. So 8x buat cross multiplication akan dapat 13.2. So at the end we will get the same answer. This one is cross multiplication method. Okay, so yang ni adalah cara cross multiplication. If you want to use unitary method, yang ni unitary method ni kan dah belajar waktu sekolah rendah, boleh juga. But usually method this one takkan confuse kan. Kalau unitary method ni kadang-kadang kita akan jadi confused at the end. So if you use unitary method, kita bahagi dulu 2.64 bahagi 8 pen. So kita akan dapat 1 pen harga dia 0.33. Okay, sebab kita dah bahagi. So 0.33 nak tahu untuk 5 pence. 0.33 multiply with 5. So akan dapat 1.65. Okay, done. Okay, next one. Example 2. 8 loaf of bread will make packed lunch for 18 people. How many packed lunch can be made for 20 loaf? Okay, so sekarang kalau 18 people menggunakan 8 loaf, so nisbah dengan people. Okay. So 8 tadi untuk 18 people. Okay. And then kalau dia guna 20 berapa untuk berapa orang? Kalau 20 berapa pula kat sini? Okay. So just do cross multiplication. So we will get 45, okay? So 20 times dengan 18 dapat 360. 8 darab dengan y akan dapat 8y. Okay, bila dah dapat 8y, kita nak tahu y sahaja. Y ni represent how many people here. Okay, so divide with 8 here. Sini pun akan bahagi 8. So kita akan dapat 45 people. Okay, so sama je untuk direct proportion. Almost the same dengan semalam punya sahaja. Sebab dia macam direct je lah maksud dia. Okay, done. Now kita nak masuk inverse proportion. So inverse proportion ni dia berlainan dengan direct proportion lah. Okay, so dia untuk inverse proportion ni satu akan menaik, satu akan menurun. Okay, so kalau speed kita, so formula for speed is equal to distance over time. Betul? Okay. So as your speed increase, the time you take to travel a fixed distance akan decrease. Okay, so maksudnya kalau speed awak nak menaik, awak punya time ni akan decrease. Okay, kalau dalam equation dia macam ni. Speed is equal to distance over time. So when speed increase, okay, time ni dia akan decrease. And vice versa. Kalau speed decrease, our time will increase. This is for inverse proportion. Kalau direct proportion tadi, satu increase, satu lagi akan increase. Okay, so contoh dia, example 1. Okay, 5 men take 20 days to build a wall. So 5 men, 5 men take 20 days to build a wall. How long will it take for 10 men? Okay. So sekarang kita dah ada maklumat 5 men ni untuk 20 days, for 20 days. Meanwhile untuk 10 men ni berapa hari akan diperlukan untuk buat wall tu. Okay, so sekarang kita kena tahu 5 men dia memerlukan 20 days kan. So 10 men ni berapa hari? This one kita tak boleh buat ratio macam biasa. Contoh kan, kita buat 5 nisbah 10, yang ni untuk man. And then kita buat day 20 nisbah apa. Okay. So kalau kita buat cross multiplication, kita letak ni sebagai A. So 5A is equal to 200. Our A will be 200 divide with 5. We will get 40 days. Okay. Dia tak sensible, tak make sense. Sebab apa tak make sense? Kita guna lagi ramai orang untuk membuat a wall, the same wall. Kenapa memerlukan masa yang sama? Masa yang lebih lama. Kenapa dia ambil masa yang lebih lama? So this one kita tak boleh guna this method. So macam mana nak buat? Kita kena tahu wall tu macam mana dulu. Okay, so kalau 5 men, 20 days, 10 men berapa? So 5 men pergi 10 men ni, dia darab 2, betul? So this one, dia multiply dengan 2. Okay. So maksudnya bila kita guna 10 orang, tenaga 10 orang, hari dia akan berkurang separuh. So kita akan dapat 10 days. Okay, sebab 5 orang menggunakan 20 hari, 10 orang akan 10 hari sajalah. Okay, done. Next. Okay, an average speed of 6 km per hour, a walk takes 5 hours. Maksudnya dalam speed dia 6 km per hour. So orang ni dia ambil masa 5 hours. Okay. And then kalau dia speed dia 8 km, berapa lama masa dia ambil? Okay. So kat sini apa? So 6 km dia memerlukan 5 jam. So 8 km berapa? So cara dia you have to know. This one kita boleh tahu distance dia dulu. Kita cari distance sebab this one dia guna speed. So just now speed sama dengan distance over time. Okay, so ini kita nak tengok dia punya distance berapa. So 6 km dengan distance. So nak tahu distance kita akan dapat 30 km. Okay. Kita dapat distance dia 30 km. Macam mana kita dapat 30 km? Speed dia kita dah tahu kan, 6 km ni. Ni adalah speed. Distance dia kita tak tahu. Ni distance. Time dia adalah 5 hour. Okay. So nak tahu distance, kita akan darab 5 sini. Darab 5 sini. So this side akan tinggal distance sahaja. Sebab 5 divide with 5 we will get 1 and distance is equal to 30. 30 ni is 30 km lah. Okay. Bila dah dapat distance yang sama and this person average speed dia 8 km per hour. So 8 km per hour ini average speed. So distance sekarang kita akan ambil distance dia adalah 30. 30 akan over dengan time dia. Time dia kita tak tahu. Okay. So nak tahu X ni 8 kan? 8, 30 over X. Okay, sebab ni pecahan, dia X yang dekat bawah kita akan flip. So this one, 8 ni is actually 8 is equal to 8 over 1 kan? So bila kita flip, we will get 1 over 8 is equal to X over 30. Okay, and then we want to know the value of X times 30 times 30. Okay. So this one 30 divide with 30 we will get 1. 30 divide with 8 kita akan dapat 3.75 hours. Okay. So masa yang diperlukan untuk this person to walk at the same distance dia sekarang sama tapi dia punya speed berbeza. Okay. So akan ambil masa 3.75. Okay, done. Just now 5 man ni kita 10 man darab 2. So dekat sini 20 days dia nak pergi ke sini, dia akan bahagi 2. Okay. Sama juga dengan yang ni, 6 km nak pergi 8, dia akan darab berapa? 1.3333. Kita akan dapat 4/3, okay. So 6 dia nak jadi 8 ni dia akan darab 4 over 3. Okay, so 5 hour ni nak dapat the next hour kita akan divide 4 over 3. Okay, so bila 5 bahagi dengan 4 over 3 kita akan dapat 3.75, okay. So this one is for inverse proportion. Okay, next one. When the teacher shares out some sweet with 12 people, so kita ada 12 pupils. Okay, each pupil get 10 sweet. So setiap seorang akan dapat 10 sweet. 10 sweet per person, per pupil. Okay. How many will each get if there are 20 pupil? Okay. So sekarang dekat soalan ni, for this question, the amount of sweet yang cikgu tu ada adalah sama sahaja. Amount dia adalah sama. Sama macam distance tadi. Untuk yang ni, distance dia adalah sama. For this one, the amount of sweet that teacher had sama sahaja. So kita kena tahu bilangan gula-gula yang cikgu tu ada dulu. Okay. So this one. So 12 pupil dapat 10 sweet. So maksudnya kita ada 120 sweet. Okay, sebab 12 ni untuk seorang dapat 10. So bila 12 kita akan darab dengan 10 lah. 12 akan darab 10. Okay. So this one is the amount of the sweet that the teacher had. Okay, so sekarang 120 ni kita akan bahagi dengan untuk 20 orang pula. Sebab kita nak cari berapa sweet yang diorang ni dapat pula. Okay, so 120 divide with 20. Akan dapat 6. Okay. So maksudnya Y ni adalah 6 sweet per person, per pupil. Okay, macam tu je lah. Okay. Tak pun cara lagi satu kita tengok 12 nak pergi 20 ni dia darab berapa. Okay, so 20 bahagi 12. Kita akan dapat 1, 2, 3, 5 per 3. Okay. So bila 12 times dengan 5 over 3, kan kita akan dapat 20. So 10 sweet ni, nak tahu dia kat sini berapa, kita akan bahagi 5 per 3. So 10 bahagi dengan 5 per 3. Kita akan dapat 6 sweet per pupil. Okay. So that's how inverse proportion berlaku. Okay, next kita nak determine the ratio of 3 quantities when 2 or more ratio of 2 quantities are given. Okay, panjang kan maksud dia. Sebenarnya kita hanya nak buat nisbah ratio PQR ni. Okay, so this one I'm going to explain 2 example and then you can proceed with another video that I'm going to attach with this video explaining about the same learning objective. Okay, so for this one, if PQ is equal to 7 to 3, P to Q is equal to 7 to 3, and Q to R is equal to 3 to 5, find the ratio of P, Q, R. P to Q to R. Okay, so macam mana kita nak buat? Okay, so sekarang dia dah bagi tahu P dengan Q adalah 73, Q dengan R adalah 35. Okay. So 73 P pergi Q, check 7 to 3. Okay, and next QR adalah 3 to 5. So QR kan, okay. So bila dekat sini, bila dia punya yang ni dah sama, kalau dah sama, kita boleh terus siapkan. So terus dapat jawapan P to Q to R is 7 to 3 to 5. Okay. Okay, next example, contoh-contoh lain pula. Dia bagi P to Q is equal to 2 to 7. Okay, and then dia bagi P to R is equal to 4 to 9. Okay, so dia nak PQR juga, PQR. Kita check apa yang sama kat sini, P kan, P dengan P. Okay, so P dia, the first one 2 to 7 and the second one P ke R, P to R 4 to 9. Okay, ini R kat sini, so bawah R adalah 9. Okay, so this one kita tengok yang mana yang overlap ni, dia tak sama kan. So bila tak sama, awak kena make sure dia sama dulu. So sekarang apa sifir yang boleh bagi dia sama antara 2 dengan 4 ni? Okay, kita darab yang atas ni, equation atas ni dengan 2. Okay, so we will get, kita akan darab 2, darab 2. So bila darab sini 2, kat sini pun akan darab 2. Okay, so the new one will be P to Q to R 4 to 14. Okay, and the 4/9 ni kita tak perlu tukar, 4 to 9. Okay, bila dah nampak dia sama, bila dia dah sama ni, okay, so kita boleh tulis our final answer P to Q to R is 4 to 14 to 9. Okay, macam tu. Itu je lah. So kalau boleh simplify, kita kena simplify. Kalau tak boleh, kita tinggal saja jawapan kita macam tu. Okay, next one. 2 to 5 dengan 3 to 2. Okay, so this one X nisbah Y nisbah Z. Okay, so our XY is 2 to 5 and our YZ is 3 to 2. Okay, so sekarang ni dia tak sama kan, yang ni Y ni, kita tengah cakap pasal Y ni. So Y ni 5 dengan 3. So dia tak sama, kita kena bagi dia sama dulu. Okay, so macam mana nak bagi dia sama? Okay, so yang atas ni 5 dengan 3, sifar apa yang multiple of apa yang akan sama? 15 kan? So yang atas ni kita akan darab 3. This one kita akan multiply with 3. Okay, so the below one we will multiply with, kita multiply dengan 5. Okay. So we will get X to Y to Z. So 3 times 2, 6 to 15. Okay, make sure you put dekat alphabet yang betul, variable yang betul. Kalau X punya, Y punya, Y punya. Okay, so this one, Y adalah 3 tadi, 3 times dengan 5, 15 juga. Our aim is to make sure Y ni dia sama. Baru kita boleh determine dia punya X, Y, Z ni. So our Z 2 ni kita dah darab dengan 5 juga. So akan dapat 10. Okay. So our final answer will be 6 to 15 to 10. Okay, kalau boleh simplify, kita simplify. Kalau tak boleh, kita tinggal je macam tu. Okay. So this will be X to Y to Z. Okay, so that's all for today. So this one is to determine the ratio of 3 quantities bila 2 or more ratio of 2 quantities are given. Okay, so you can check this example from the textbook.
Okay, let's go to this first question. If A is to B is equal to 3 to 4, A to B is equal to 3 to 4. Instead of writing this way, so I will suggest the student to write this way, so easier for you to see the number right at the bottom of that variable. So B to C is equal to 4 to 5. This is the ratio. So now we are looking for A to B to C. So the first step to do this subquotient is look at their common quantity. So you will notice that their common quantity is B, right? And the second step is to observe their value. If their value of the if the value of the common quantity is same, so then it will be very straightforward. You just copy down all the number. Okay, for example, for this question, so the common quantity is B, and they have the same value, so it will be very easy. A is equal to 3, B is equal to 4, and C is equal to 5. That's all. So this is the answer for A. So how about B? A to B, the ratio is 1 is to 2, and C to, okay, A to C, the ratio is 1 to 5. Okay, so the first step is to look at their common quantity. Now we are looking for A to B to C. Look at their common quantity, which is A, right? A. And the second step is to look at observe their value, same or not. Now, if they have the same value, like this, 1 and 1, very straightforward. So we can write the answers straight away. A is equal to 1, B is equal to 2, and C is 5. So this is their ratio. A is to B is to C. The ratio is 1 is to 2 is to 5. Okay, let's go to part C. Okay, in the previous video, I did mistake in these questions. Okay, so x to y, the ratio is 2 is to 3. And then we have another ratio, and a pair of ratio, x to z. The ratio is 4 is to 5. Okay, first thing, look at their common quantity. Common quantity will be x. Second, look at their value. Oh, the value is different now. So we need to change the value of the common quantity become the same first before we can write the ratio of the three quantity. So 2, can we change the 2 to 4? Yes. We just simply multiply the 2 by 2, you will get 4. Remember, you can only use multiply or divide. You cannot use plus or minus. Okay, so now, in order to change the 2 become 4, what should I do? I need to times 2. If this is a pair of ratio. Whatever I do on the left hand side, I have to do the same thing on the right hand side. The 3 here, I also need to times 2. So here will give me 4, and this will give me 6. Okay, so now we look at their common quantity. They have the same value now. Okay, so you can write the ratio of x to y to z easily. X is equal to 4, y is equal to 6, and z is equal to 5. Okay, this is the answers for part C. Okay, now let's try part D. X to y, the ratio is 3 to 8, and y to z, the ratio is 12 to 7. First step, look at their common quantity, which is y. Second step, look at the value of their common quantity, whether they have the same value or not. Now this is 8, this is 12, difference. So 8 times what whole number will give you 12? Don't have, right? We need to multiply a fraction. So in this case, we don't want to multiply this by a fraction because it will look very complicated, right? So here we find the lowest common multiples of 8 and 12. I hope that you still remember how to find LCM. So I can just divide it by 4 to 3. So L, right? LCM. L, you can pull it by that variable. You cannot divide, you can just pull it down. So I just divided by 2. 2 divided by 2, you get 1. 3 cannot be divided by 2, right? So you just pull the 3 down until you see all 1 only is down. So 1 cannot be divided by 3. So we just pull down the 1. 3 divided by 3, you get 1. Okay, now you can stop. The LCM, okay, I'll write over here. The LCM of 8 and 12 is equal to 4 times 2 times 3, which is 24. This means that 8 can change to 24, 12 can change to 24 also. How to change 8 to 24? I have to times 3. Wherever I do the same, whatever I do on the other side, I need to do the same thing on the other side. So here I have to times 3 as well. You need to follow so that it becomes equivalent ratio. So this will give you 9. This will give you 24. Okay, now we go to this pair. How to change the 12 to 24? Times 2. So here I do the same thing, times 2. So this will give you 24. This will give you 14. Okay, so now you notice that they have the same value, right? So you can write the x to y to z ratio, the ratio for this three quantity easily. So x is equal to 9, y is equal to 24, z is equal to 14. Okay, this is the answer for this part. Okay, so let's proceed to the second questions. The ratio of Rita height to Sarah height. Okay, now I have Rita. Okay, I think I just write R. Rita to Sarah. The ratio is 3 is to 5, their height. The ratio of Rita height to Tina height. which is 2 is to 3. Find the ratio of Rita height to Sarah to Tina. So it's actually the same thing like just now, but this, it gives you a situation. But it's exactly the same method we apply here. Okay, the first step, look at their common quantity. Alright. Second step, look at the value of their common quantity. This is 3, this is 2. Difference. So we want to change the 2 and 3 to their lowest common multiples, which is equal to 6, right? So here, what I do, I times 2. I need to do the same thing for the another side. So this will give me 6, and this will give me 10. Okay, now go to this one. So I want to change the 2 becomes 6, so that the common quantity will have the same value. What should I do? I need to times 3. On the left hand side, I times 3. Right hand side, I have to do the same thing. So this will give me 6. This will give me 9. Okay, now you notice that they have the same value for the common quantity. So now you can start to write the ratio for this 3 quantity. R is equal to 6. Okay, S is 10. T is 9. Okay, let me check it out now. 6, 10, and 9. Okay, so this is a way how to solve this question. Okay, so let's proceed to these questions. So we have to calculate. Okay, the diagram shows a straight line given PR. So where's PR? Let me label this. So here PR to RT. RT is over here. RT is over here. So the ratio is 1 is to 6. Okay, PR to RT. The ratio is 1 to 6. Okay, so calculate the length of RS. So we are only looking for this part. Okay. So how do we solve this one? How do we get the length of RS? So we know that if I can get the length of RT, I can get the length of RS, right? Because I already given the length of ST. I just need to take the length of RT minus this ST, which is 20 centimeters, then I will get the RS, right? Okay, the total length here is 56 centimeters. Total how many parts? 7 parts. 7 parts equal to 56 centimeters. So 1 part will be equal to 56 divided by 7, which is equal to 8 centimeters. So now I am using unitary method. So 1 part is equal to 8 centimeters. So RT is equal to how many parts? 6 parts. So 1 part is 8. 6 part will be 6 times 8, which will give you 48 centimeters. Okay, so but this is not yet the final answers. The questions only ask about RS. So the length of RS is equal to, so now I know this is 48 centimeters, right? So I have to take the 48 centimeters minus 20 centimeters. So it will give me 28 centimeters. Okay, so the answer is 28 centimeters.
And that's it. Okay, thank you.